Hello again, third grade. I am here for your second video with our Into Math lessons. We're now on, the last video I did was for Module 1 for the Getting You Ready piece to get your brains working and get you in that mindset of multiplication. And now we're going to be doing the lesson 1, Build Understanding. So that's where we're going to be picking up where we left off. And remember, we always start at the top. We always make sure we read all of our directions before we jump right into what work we need to do, because the directions are going to probably give us some information that we need to help us do our work. So we have count equal groups. So when you're done, this is what we hope you're going to be able to do. I can count equal groups to find the total number of objects when the number of equal groups and the number of objects in each group is given. So they're going to give us the number of equal groups and the number of objects, so that way we can figure out the total number of objects that they want us to find. Okay? So we get to do some sparking of our learning first. Suppose you are building more robots like this one. Choose any number of robots to build. How many wheels do you need? So we can see here is our robot that they want us to build. And we get to build as many robots as we want. Now, if we were together, we would brainstorm a number, but since we are apart, I'm going to model it with a number of robots, but you could on your own pause the video, do your own number of robots, and then come back and see how it compares with what I did, okay? So now is a great time if you want to pause and show your thinking on how you would model your number of robots that you would want to make. All right, here is what I would be doing. So I want to make 4 robots. So how am I going to show my thinking? Well, I am going to use circles to help me figure it out. So I know I want to make 4 robots. So I'm going to need to make sure I have 4 circles. But maybe you drew the robots. That's okay, right? You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Maybe you did squares. Maybe you did whatever you use to model your thinking is great. This is just how I am going to model my thinking. So my thinking is I know I want to make 4 robots. And when I'm looking at my robots, there are 1, 2, 3 wheels. So each of my robots needs 3 wheels. So this circle is my robot, and inside my robot is each wheel that I would need for each robot. So if I build 4 robots we know there are 3 wheels each, how many wheels am I going to need? Well, for this problem, I'm going to need to count by 3s, right? I bet you had to count by 3s as well when you were making your robots. 3, 6, 9, 12. So if I want to build 4 robots with 3 wheels each, I am going to need 12 wheels. And I wish we could have a little chat about what you did with your model. But if you didn't make your own model, if you did your model the same as mine, then we could have chatted a little bit about how that worked for us as well. But as you can see, that's how I was able to model my thinking on how I want to do 4 robots. Okay? So now we're going to turn to page 6. And we've got some more robots that we're going to be working with. So build understanding. Number 1, Raj makes 5 robots like this one. How many legs do the 5 robots have? So this time we're talking about legs. So we can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4 total legs for each robot. Okay? But Raj wants to make 5 robots. So I am going to draw how many circles? 5 circles. So how many dots are you going to put in each of your circles? I hope you said 4 because that's how many legs each robot needs. So I'm going to do 4 dots inside each circle. Those 4 dots represent each leg, and each circle represents each robot. So there are how many groups? There are 5 groups with 4 legs in each group. So, what is the same amount each? What is the same amount? I'm sorry. So it happens when I'm trying to read too fast. What is the same about each of our groups? Well, let's look at this little vocabulary box that's in here. Equal groups means that each group has the same number of objects. So what is the same about each of our groups? Well, each group has what? 4 dots inside that represent the 4 legs. So each group has 4 dots for the 4 legs. Notice I didn't do one group with 5 dots or one group with 7 dots. Each group has to have the same number of legs because I'm going to build that same exact robot 5 times. So each group needs 4 dots that represent the 4 legs. How can you use the number in each group to find the total number of legs? Well, how are we going to use the number in each one of these groups to find the total number of legs? I hope you're thinking, or maybe you said it out loud, that you need to count by 4 5 times. I will count by 4 5. I'm just going to write it differently so it doesn't look like 45 times. So it's going to take me counting by 4 5 different times to get to the number. So how many legs do the 5 robots have? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So I need to count by 4s. So the legs, 5 robots will need 20 total legs. Now let's think about this turn and talk down here. What if you are finding the number of legs on 5 robots with 6 legs on each robot? What would you do the same and what would you do differently? Well, what I would do the same is I would make sure I had equal groups. I would make sure that my robots, that I had 5 circles, because I know I'm still making 5 robots. But what I would do differently is I would need to have 6 legs inside each of my circles. So for example, I'm hoping you can see this okay. I'm going to move this up just a little. So for example, I would still want my 5 circles that represent my 5 robots. And then inside each of my circles, I would need 6 dots because that would represent the number of legs on this different robot. So then if I'm counting by 6s, I have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So for this one, I would need 30 legs. Oh, I forgot to write my label up here. Please forgive me. I apologize. If we're talking about legs, right, we want to make sure we have a label. All right. So now let's look on page 7. Aisha makes 4 of these robots. How many wheels does Aisha use? So we see a robot here. How many robots are there? There's just 1. And how many wheels are on each robot? 1, 2, 3. Now I can't fully see the wheels, but I can make a really good, I can guess that this is 1, this is 1, and this is 1, right? So I must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wheels on each robot. So we know that Aisha wants to make 4 of these robots. So use in our workspace, show equal groups, write the numbers. So I know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal groups. And how many are going to be in each one? There are going to be 6 objects in each group. So I'm going to do my 6 wheels in each group. So I have my 1, 2, 3, 4 equal groups. I have 6 in each, and I represented those 6 in each circle. So there are 4 equal groups, right? With 6 objects in each group. So how many wheels does Aisha use? Well, I could count them individually, right? Or I could count by 6s. So I know there are 6, 12, 18, 24. And if you want to check me, go ahead and count each individual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So there are 24 wheels that Aisha will need to use. So now we're going to see if we know what we're doing without having a lot of the models already done for us. So we have check understanding, show equal groups, count equal groups to find the total. So Ty makes 8 robots. So I know he needs to make 8 robots. Each robot has 2 arms. And we want to know how many arms are there. Well, how many groups am I going to need? I hope you're thinking 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't want to run into this problem over here, right? So I want to make sure my problems stay together. And then I know that, so I have my 8 robots, and I need to show that each one have 2 arms. 1, 2. So I'm going to put 2 in each robot, or 2 in each circle. That represents my robots. And my 2 dots represent the arms, so they're standing in for them. So I'm going to count by 2 8 times. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I have 16. And remember, I didn't write my label over there. I better make sure I write my label over here. 16 arms. All right, now I'm going to move on to number 2. Each robot has 3 wheels. There are 6 robots. How many wheels are there? So they wrote this question in a little bit different way. They wrote this question starting with robots and saying how many arms each has. This one tells us each robot has 3 wheels, but there are 6 robots. So even though they wrote it in a different way, I still should be able to figure out what my circle should be. I know that each robot needs 3 wheels, so I'm going to need 6 robots. How many wheels am I going to put in each robot? I hope you're thinking or you said 3. So we have 3 wheels inside each robot. It almost looks like a bowling ball when I draw them like that. Or a little face without a smile, just eyes and a nose. But those are our wheels. So now what am I going to count by? Going to count by 3s. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I have 18 wheels. And I know I can spell my words, my labels correctly because look, it's right here in my problem, right? So I want to make sure that I'm spelling my label correctly because it's right there for me. So I should be able to spell this correctly. So check me and make sure I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 wheels. I don't know if you've ever heard of a tractor trailer called an 18-wheeler before, but an 18-wheeler tractor trailer would have 18 wheels. All right, our last page that we're going to do today is page number 8. And in this page it says on your own. Now normally I would say, okay, go ahead and try this on your own and then we will check it over together. But we're not together. So you know what? We're going to try to do this a little bit. We're going to do this together. And actually I would have done this together with my class anyway, just because it's the first time doing it. So I want to make sure that you're really, really understanding this. So, number 3, use tools. Kiko has 4 shirts. Now remember, sometimes you might get a name. I'm just going to go backwards a little bit. And I think you've probably learned this before in your previous classes, but you might not know what that person's name is, right? You might see that and go, oh goodness, there's all this reading in here and that's going to hurt me when I try to do my math, but it shouldn't. This is just somebody's name. So if you see something like that and you're like, whoa, I really don't understand that, you could just call this person K, right? We could just look at the first letter of their name and say K. Don't let a name that looks strange to you or that you're really unsure of how to read, don't let that trip you up. Use that and just say, okay, that's K. But Kiko has 4 shirts. So I know she has 4 shirts. Each shirt has 7 buttons. How many buttons are there? Draw a visual model and then describe your visual model. So what visual model could we draw? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm going to have 4 shirts because that's my whole, right? I need 4 shirts and then there are 7 buttons that are going to be added to my shirts. So I'm going to need 4 shirts. So notice you've got this empty space, right? So you've got some space that you could draw your visual model. So I know I need 4 shirts. And I see that here that it said each shirt has 7 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, we need to describe our visual model. So, what did we do? Well, let's think about this. Let's talk it through. Let's see. What did we do first? Well, first, we drew 4 circles to represent the 4 shirts. So there are 4 circles, 1 for each shirt. Right? It represents, it's standing in for, it's showing, I know this isn't a shirt, but I'm using this circle as a representation to show me that here are my 4 shirts. Then what did I do? Oh, I put 7 dots inside each circle to represent the buttons. So there are 7 dots for the buttons on each shirt. And then how are we going to find out how many buttons are there? Well, I need to count by 7s. So I have 7, and 7 and 7 is 14. 14 plus 7 is 21. 21 plus 7 is 28. So there are 28 buttons, and I'm going to have you check me. You ready? Count your buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. There are 28 total buttons on the 4 shirts. Number 4, open-ended. Sal is putting rocks into bags. Write and solve a word problem that describes equal groups and asks for the total number of rocks. So this is where we're going to write our own word problem. So let's see, how many rocks does Sal have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 rocks. So let's think about it. How could we separate his rocks into bags? Let's think about the number 18. Well, we could do 9 bags. And how many rocks would be in each one? We would have 2 rocks in each bag. We could have 6 bags. How many rocks would be in each bag? We would have 3 rocks in each bag. We could have 3 bags with 6 rocks in each bag. And we could have 2 bags with 9 rocks in each bag. So our word problem could be Sal has, which number do we want to use? How about we use 6 bags? He puts 3 rocks in each bag. How many rocks does Sal have? So see, we could solve this problem showing that we have 18 rocks, or Sal has 18 rocks, not us. All right, and our last 2 questions, number 5 and number 6, it says use structure. Count equal groups to find the total. So how many groups do we have? What represents the groups? I hope you said the jar. The jar shows me the groups. So I have 3 groups, right? Because I have 3 jars. And then I want to know how many buttons are in each jar. Well, I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons, and it's the same number in each jar. So if I have 5 buttons here, 5 buttons here, and 5 buttons here, 5, 10, I have 15 buttons. And lastly, number 6, how many groups of beads? So we know over here, we said the jar was how we showed what our groups were. How many jars do I have? I have 4 jars. So I have 4 groups of, and how many beads are in each of these jars? I hope you counted 5. We have 5 total, so it's the same number in each jar. So if I have 4 groups of 5 beads, I have 5, 10, 15, 20 beads. And I'm going to leave this last one for you to just do and think about on your own. It says, I'm in a learning mindset. What would I like to learn more about when I'm studying equal groups? So is there something more you would like to learn about? And if you want to, you could type it as a question to me or a statement to me, letting me know what you would like to learn more about, or we could chat about it when we meet again. Now, what I would like you to do when you are done this page, when you are done page 8, there is a black and white paper after this page. That is the homework practice, okay, and the spiral review. I would like you to complete that paper on your own, and I would like you to send it in to me at school. If you have meals delivered, you could put it in that envelope that I sent all your paperwork to you in. You could put it in that envelope and send it with the person who delivers your meals back to school. Or you could figure out, I don't know if there's a way that an adult at home could drop the paper off at school to me. But when you are finished, it will be due by the end of this week. It will be due by Friday the 25th. And then next week we'll do the next lesson, but because this video is going to end up being about half an hour long. So I would like you to, when you're done, again, do that black and white worksheet and find a way to get it into me, either with the mail or the lunch delivery people, have them bring it back to me, or you could have an adult from home drop it off to school for me. All right. I hope this math cleared things up for you or wasn't too confusing for you. And if you have any questions, please make sure to let me know. And I will. I'm looking forward to seeing all the awesome stuff you're doing. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.